Hello, everyone. Welcome to Feelings with the Geekiary. I am Erin. I'm here with Jamie and Tara. We are fans. We have feelings, and this is where we webcast about them. And it's May.
Shockingly. How is it already May? You can join the conversation with the hashtag Geekiary Feelings. Come on, how will we know we're wrong if you don't tell us?
We would like to remind all of you that the views expressed on this webcast are those of the hosts as individuals and do not necessarily represent Geekiary or the webcast itself as a whole.
Wonderful. All right. So, of course, we need to get some business out of the way. Don't forget about our Patreon. You can give us money and you get some perks back. So you can find us on patreon.com/thegeekiary. I think we are constantly revamping the perks and everything. So be sure to check that out. Also, we have a ton of other content here on our YouTube channel. Lots of reaction videos. I don't know what's going on with other series right now. Tara, are you guys done
with the Bitching Dead? You mean? No, actually, we are having. Let me look at my calendar. Sorry, we actually thought that Fear the Walking Dead only had 6 episodes or something like that in this mid-season, or maybe 8, but it's like it turns out that it's more. So we were supposed to have a webcast actually this past week, but we're not having another one until I believe it's Monday, June 14th, because the show and the season ends on June 13th. And it had gotten to the point where we were sometimes, like, when we were covering 2 like Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead episodes per webcast, it was like barely taking us an hour. Like the whole thing took us an hour, and that meant only like 40 minutes of it was actually chat about the show. That's how boring and stupid this show has gotten. And like, I'm really glad we decided to put off this one till the end of the season, because like I've watched all of the aired episodes and they're all just, I'm ready for this to be over. We'll put it that way.
All right. I knew the last time we talked, it was getting wrapped up at some point soon, but I couldn't remember. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Oh, no. I like, honestly, like I actually have like a board like off on on the wall next to me that has like a list of all the webcasts I did this month. And I glanced over and I realized that I hadn't put our Fear the Walking Dead one on there. So now I'm like, shoot, I better add that one in. Because otherwise I'll forget about it until like the day of.
Yeah, that happens. Okay, so yeah, definitely other YouTube videos. We got them, Also, be sure to check out the Geekiary's news section. I have been real busy with things this week. So this month. It's been a month since we last had one of these. So what's some of the biggest news that's happening right now?
Well, I didn't watch the show, but I know Admin Angel, who is not here tonight, obviously, was excited about this. But there's a high school student that won like a congressional art contest. And so like their art is going to be displayed in the Capitol building or like this, wherever. And it is Hanagram. It is Hannibal fan art, and it is going to be like hung in the Capitol. And I think like one of the senators or like one of the congressmen like tweeted Brian Fuller and was like, does this mean we get a season 4? And like, so like, it's insane that is, like, do they know what that was? Like, it's not overtly shippy, but it is still like Hannibal fan art, and it's going to be hanging in a government building.
It's like cubist looking too, isn't it? Like, yeah, I watched the show, but I mean, it was only one season, so was it? Oh shoot! Then I only watched one season. For some reason,
you better get on that.
Like, I only watched one season. I mean, listen, there's a reason I don't remember that it was 3 seasons. Not that it was bad or anything. It was just like I knew that it ended, and I was like, I don't want to get any further into this, and get disappointed that there's not more. So I just gave up on it. Sorry.
It's okay. I did
not my thing. So
I did watch Hannibal. I do like horror, as you guys know, and it is the most visually stunning television show I have ever seen. So I'm sure.
Yeah, Brian Fuller's really good at that.
Yeah. And so that's really exciting to me, actually, about this capital art stuff. It's, it's fun.
I mean, honestly, I just think it's fun. Like, I wish this had happened months ago, because didn't you guys, I know I missed it, but you guys did a webcast about like fan works, right? Right? Like, it's sad that this didn't happen like months ago, because that would have been something big to talk about. Like that, like, honestly, like, the art is really cool looking, whether or not you know anything about Hannibal. The fact that it is fan art is just amazing. You know, and it's going to be in the Capitol. I saw a tweet or something where it was like, now, oh God, what's his name? Ted Cruz has to like walk by this every day. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, it's the little wins that we love the most.
Celebrate the little things.
Yeah. Any other news? Otherwise, I can go off on.
Not really. You should, like, everybody should still check it out. We had some interviews over the past week or so, like a comic writer and stuff like that. So I don't know the person who did it, but yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, I've got nothing. I mean, I've got nothing that I put some newsy stuff in, like, for us to like to actually go into discussions about. So that's like where all my news stuff went, I guess.
Yeah, I had press releases about stuff that I totally was going to write about and then did not because work. So.
Well, I will talk. I will say one piece of BTS news. They have I have something later on too, but the news part is that they are doing a collaboration with McDonald's, and that starts this next week. And you can go to McDonald's. There will be a special BTS meal that you can get. It's a Coke, fries, and 10-piece McNuggets, and they're bringing back 2 hand-chosen sauces by the guys for your nuggets: spicy sweet chili and Cajun. So, so check that out. And there's like special T-shirts that the crew are gonna wear with like Hangul on it, which is the Korean alphabet, and it's gonna be really awesome. So go to McDonald's if that's your thing. Have fun.
I kept seeing people post about that, and because I have a lot of friends that are into BTS right now, and but like I was seeing like back-to-back posts about the BTS McDonald's stuff, and because there was the McDonald's workers went on strike on the 15th, I believe, and I was like, oh my God, I really hope this BTS thing isn't going on at McDonald's right now, because like. Yeah.
There are a lot of armies that are low key like encouraging McDonald's employees to sell their T-shirts on eBay to like just give them money. Like, we want your T-shirts. You need the money. It's a win-win for everybody. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
I mean, hey, all they need to do is find, if they have a friend who has or acquaintance or family member who has an eBay account that they trust. Like I'm not going to say I have done this, but I know people who have sold things that weren't supposed to be sold on period on eBay through a friend. So
maybe same. Oh. All right. So let's get into some discussion. And I think probably one of the things that all of us wanted to talk about is an ongoing big event in our lives, which is this pandemic. And hey, guess what? Like, things are starting to open up, and some people, some things, some states are being real cautious about it, and others are not. So let's kind of dig in and talk about like what big kind of geeky things are impacted by being open or not, or whatever. What's going on?
Well, I mean, conventions, I think, are probably the first like big main geeky thing, because I mean, you live in Florida, and Florida has been open, right? And so there's several conventions that are supposed to happen there this summer, including I think Con of Thrones is scheduled for July in Orlando. And then, which is weird because they were supposed to have LeakyCon there like the week before or something, and they canceled LeakyCon already, but they are still, as far as we know, having, or as far as I know, having Con of Thrones, unless something's been announced more recently. And MegaCon, I think, is happening mid-August, right? And that's still planning on going on. I know that like little small conventions have happened still, like all over the country, Florida and elsewhere. So I know, like, I mean, shoot, there were cons that were happening like last year still. Wherever, when they could, little ones, but still. And so, but the big ones, MegaCon, is one of them, is kind of like, are we ready for this? Because the other problem is, if the state and the county/city or whatever is fully open, then they can't use that force majeure clause anymore. So, I hate that a lot of these conventions are receiving this like kind of this backlash, because let's be honest, like some of these events, maybe not MegaCon because they're owned by Fan Expo, which is a giant, conglomeration of conventions and stuff. But like some of these events, like if they don't have that force majeure clause, that's keeping them from having the event, and they don't have it, they probably won't ever happen again. Like that's like a lot of money that would just be down the tubes. Like I was looking at booking a small event, not convention related, and for like 50 people or something later this year. And the place I was looking at, they said, it actually says like, even it has no force majeure clause. If I sign an agreement with this place and I cancel for any reason, including acts of God, I do not get my deposit back.
Well,
so
fun time.
Yeah. So I totally, of all people, understand like where, attendees are coming from, like saying like, we don't think these big events especially should happen, but at the same time, like a lot of these businesses probably don't have a choice. And that's what sucks. Like, I mean, Dragon Con is one of the ones that this is like usually an 80,000 person convention. And I know like a couple weeks ago, everybody with a Hyatt room booking, that's one of the host hotels, got an email saying, you're going to be charged for your full stay on June 1st as planned. If you cancel if you have a legacy room, meaning like a room that is basically booked for you until you decide you don't want it anymore. But if you have a legacy room and you cancel it for this year, you're losing your legacy status for future years, which like this time last year, they sent out an email saying, because they weren't sure that the convention was going to be canceled yet, but they must have had some idea, because in May of last year, the Hyatt sent out an email saying, even if you cancel your reservation for 2020 now, you are still going to have a legacy room for 2021. So the fact that they've done away with that, as done away with that caveat or whatever, is kind of one thing. And then Dragon Con put out, and this was just mostly, I think, in response to a combination of the fact that Georgia is basically open. The CDC made the announcement that people who are vaccinated don't have to wear masks basically like anywhere anymore. And of course, like plenty of attendees saying like, hey, it's May, this is supposed to happen on Labor Day, what's going on? And also a lot of kind of arguments happening in like the private forums, like on Reddit and Facebook and stuff, with people fighting and arguing over whether or not it should happen. So Dragon Con put out a statement. I'm just going to read it because I was going to try to paraphrase it, but it's short. They said, let's be clear, there will be an in-person event. There will be virtual content. This is the plan unless we explicitly state otherwise from an official channel, like their website or whatever. Everything else is still being worked on. Possibility of attendance and membership caps, membership rollovers, which means like if you buy a ticket and decide you can't go, you can roll it over to next year. I'm not sure the membership pricing. I'm not sure what that's about. Masks, distancing, panel size limits, And then they just kind of list contests, the parade, parties, like we're still working on this. Anyone that says they have a different answer is wrong. It's too soon to know what things are going to look like, but fan and guest safety comes first. We'll follow local policy and listen to the experts about how to safely have an event. They were saying similar things last year in terms of it's not officially canceled, get off our backs, but I feel like this is the way this is worded. It's like they're still giving themselves an out by saying, unless we state otherwise, it's still on, but it feels it's very different from, how things were last year at this time. Like I would say like the chances of them not having an in-person event are super, super slim this year, which again, like I said, like I can be frustrated with it all I want, but I also understand why they're probably stuck, having it if there's no major change in like CDC regulations and whatnot. I don't really feel comfortable going to a tens of thousands of person event. I don't want to wear a mask like 24/7 in the Atlanta heat in the beginning of September, but like I also am an attending professional and I don't want to harm or lose that status. And I have a legacy room at the Hyatt that I don't want to lose. So I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah. And so talking about these big events that are starting to happen, I have kind of unofficially been using Disney as a gauge on like what policies may come to fruition for a lot of these big events, just because so many thousands of people pass through Disney every day. Specifically Disney World, because Disneyland in California is still kind of in a weird place right now. So, but and we're going to talk about Disney later, but I do like to use them as a gauge on their policies and everything. And with the softening of so many of Disney's rules and guidelines, like I feel like this summer and the events in the summer and fall are just going to be a free for all. Like as far as COVID policies and stuff, I see them happening. I see them happening with very little social distancing, maybe masks, but like maybe not. And it's weird. It's a weird place. We're just in a weird place right now. It's like so many people are eager to get out and do stuff. Plus these businesses, like you kind of alluded to, Tara, are like, if they go another year without having their event, like that's a loss of a lot of money, a lot of revenue. Like it's even the vendors and the artists and stuff, professionals. Yeah. Like,
for me, I mean, like my convention, like the fact that this happened 2 years in a row for Ice and FireCon, I don't know that we will be able to have a convention in 2023 or beyond. Like 2022 very well might be our last year because I have bled through every extra penny I have ever saved for this event already. Like it's gone. It's all gone. I've got enough to hold the event in 2022 and that's it right now. So unless something changes, like I know how these people feel.
Yeah. It's just it's a weird place and none of us really know how it's going to work out. So, Jamie.
And like, it's understandable. Sorry. It's understandable that people are upset, about like the fact that these events are happening. It's like, they don't want to people who don't want to miss out, or like me who feel like they have to go for one reason or another if it happens, but really don't feel comfortable or necessarily want to. Like, it's like, by all means, like, be upset about it, have feelings about it, whatever. But like, I really think that on both sides of the spectrum, the people who are like, yeah, cavalier about it, don't care, not getting vaccinated, not wearing a mask, screw everybody else, like, and the people who have been careful, and don't want it to happen, whether they're going or not, like, just like, please understand that this isn't just about you. There are businesses and those businesses employ people. They aren't even Fan Expo, like being a giant company that runs how many conventions, and Reed Pop is another one. Like they might be a giant company, but there's a lot of people, like I am friends with people who are like, who work for Fan Expo in like higher up positions, they're struggling too. And it's like, I don't want my friends to lose their jobs either.
Enough people have lost their jobs from this pandemic. We don't want to make it worse. So yeah, mine is most of the summer events that I would be doing are still virtual. If this were a regular year, I would be gearing up because Book Expo would be next week, but Book Expo is not going to be a thing anymore. So that's upsetting.
I saw that. Is that because of the pandemic, or is it like?
Well, they had a virtual event last year, and I guess like it's been harder and harder. Like people don't want to come and like exhibit and everything like that. There was a lot of complaints because like it's always in New York, and it was like, well, yes, because the 6 major publishing houses are headquartered here, so it just makes sense. But I understand that for like smaller publishers, that like it's upsetting to have to go to New York every time. So they tried moving it somewhere else for like 1 year, and nobody liked that, so they brought it back to New York. But they were like, after the virtual one, they were like, oh, it was such a success that we're just gonna like do something like that. And I'm like, it was not. I disagree that it was a success, because the main reason that I go is that's how I get like ARCs to review.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it was virtually impossible to get them the virtual way, because there was like something you were supposed to be able to sign up and get them, and I never figured out how to do that because it was weird. So I'm not a fan of that, but I mean, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's not a whole lot I can do about it at this point. And then my next one would be Flamecon, which is in August. And like, that's a smaller one, but they already decided that it's going to be virtual this year. So my next one after that is New York Comic Con, which announced about a month ago that it is intending to happen. It's run by ReedPop, and they have 4 conventions in the fall and like winter that they have planned on having actual like in-person events. I have the article that I wrote about it here. Let's see what they are. I know it's New York Comic Con, which is in October. Florida SuperCon is in mid-September. Emerald City Comic Con is in December, and then C2E2 is also going to be in December. So that's what they have planned on happening.
Chicago in December.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I remember like when we were there, when we went to C2E2 in 2016, like we got really lucky. We had really nice weather, but like even Chicago in mid-March is like questionable. Like
very questionable.
We got really lucky. Like it was chilly, but it wasn't freezing, and like it was sunny, I think, the whole time. But like in December.
Yeah, New York in October can be hit or miss too. Like some years it's like really nice. It's like perfect fall weather. It's like in the 60s and like sunny, and then most of the time it rains. So at least one day.
Chicago in December is just going to be freezing cold and
oh no, yeah, it's going to be awful. But I was like, they probably wanted to try and get it in this year. Yeah, so like New York Comic Con intends to happen. The only thing is that all they've done so far is basically make the announcement that they plan on having it. There's been no word on tickets or anything. I go every year as press, and press, if you're going as press or if you're going as a professional, like those windows open up well before like general tickets go on sale. There's been no word on that. Like there's not even like, and if you go to the website, it's just like, it doesn't even have them listed. If you go for badges, it's just like sign up for our newsletter. So like, there's no information. It's in less than 5 months. So I don't know what they're doing. But their plans were, obviously like everybody's going to be masked. They want to do temperature checks. There's going to be social distancing. It's a lower capacity crowd than normal, but I don't know like what that, like how low or what that entails. And also New York Comic Con is fidgety with their numbers. So who knows what that actually means. New York Comic Con is one of the conventions that if one person buys 4 tickets, they count that as 4 people. So if like one person buys a ticket for every day, that's 4 people that attended the convention. It's like, no, it's one person that just went multiple days. So who knows what that's going to be. But the Javits literally did just finish like a multi-million-dollar, several-year renovation. So there's more space now. So there's the potential to spread out. But I mean, 100,000 people go to New York Comic Con, and like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if there's any way that you can have a huge convention like that. And like October is far enough away that like hopefully more people will be vaccinated. But and also New York I was under the impression that like when the CDC originally came out with their recommendation, Governor Cuomo came out and said that he would keep the mask mandate in place. And then like the next day he's like, never mind. And so like, but they also now that since the CDC made that recommendation, vaccinations have gone down because if you come out and you're like, oh, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. People hear what they want to hear. And so for a lot of people, that means pandemic's over, and it's not. Mm-hmm. So like, I just don't know. I mean, I will go if it happens because as a press attendee, it's better to go. Like your odds are better if you're returning press than if you skip a year. So, and I'm assuming that last year won't be held against me because they never approved anybody's press applications last year. Like I applied just in case, and then they didn't do anything. So like I'm hoping that doesn't count against me, but it's hard to know what's going to happen. And I've noticed I still am only going into the office every couple of weeks, but every time I go into the office, anytime I go out anymore, New York's getting back to normal, like to pre-pandemic times. Like there's more and more people on the subway. You still have to wear, like you don't have to wear the masks outside, but most businesses still require them, and you still need to wear it on public transit. But now when I'm walking outside, like people aren't wearing them. More and more people that I see. So it's just hard to tell. And I mean, in October, I don't know what it's going to look like. Hopefully more people are vaccinated by then.
Yeah, I mean, like the CDC, I'm pretty sure said like public transit and like airplanes and stuff, their recommendations are still in place. And you know, I'm over here just like, honestly, like I am vaccinated. I was fully like, it was fully stuck as of yesterday, as in like 2 weeks ago yesterday, I got my second shot, and I still like, I don't know if I'll get on a plane without wearing a mask like ever again.
Yeah, I normally get some kind of sick every winter, like some kind of cold or something. I was like, I didn't have that this year, so that's probably going to be a regular thing for me.
I mean, I just got back. I went back to Iowa to visit for kind of a long, like a long weekend sort of thing. And I got sick while I was there. I got a cold. I just got over it. And I'm like, fun. I remember how this used to be when I got cold. But yeah, and it was not fun.
Yeah, I know. Like someone
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say like, my flights, I wore a mask obviously, and all the time I was at the airport and everything, but, they're not spacing out the seats on the planes anymore. And so like, that's gross. And like I didn't see anybody wiping down their seats. Like I flew in November also. And like everyone was wiping down their seats back in November. Nobody did it except me this time. It's like, people are just like, yeah, I don't know what's happening.
It's like okay, they're tired of it.
COVID, but yeah, it's like they're like, okay, so you know, you did these things for COVID, but you're not going to do them for like the flu or colds or whatever. Like nobody wants to get sick. I don't have time for that. Like
yeah,
flu cases were also down last year. Yeah. Shocking when people wear masks. You don't get
I mean, one of my friends was saying, oh, like you didn't get sick because you didn't go anywhere or do anything. And I was like, I mean, did I do less? Like I saw less people. I went less places. I didn't go on like vacation, but I still had to travel like once every 2.5 months or like Dean traveled to see me a couple times. Like I had friends like I didn't see as many people, but I still had friends that I considered like in my bubble who, you know, came over and hung out at my house on a regular basis. And like, because I lived alone. Like I would have gone stir crazy. Like if I just literally seen no one and done nothing and not seen my, across the country boyfriend for an entire year. I knew the risks that I was taking. I was as careful as I could be every single time. I never got sick, not just with COVID, but with anything. And like since then, and since like restrictions have been, were mostly lifted in South Carolina, anytime I've gone back since I moved out to California and stuff, and they haven't been spacing seats on a single flight that I've been on in almost a year now. I think it was like last July was the last time I flew where they actually were still spacing seats. And even then only certain airlines were doing it, like Delta was, but American wasn't.
Yeah. My family and we had a vacation in September and I flew JetBlue and my sisters flew American and they had a full flight and I had the middle. So I was like, that was nice.
Yeah. So I it's just like, no matter what, I just feel like it's, I don't know, like saying I didn't get sick because I didn't go anywhere or see anybody or do anything is wrong. I really believe I didn't get sick because I was wearing a mask anytime I was in public and because I was doing things like wiping down my plane, my seat and my tray table and my armrest on the plane and sanitizing my hands, like after coming out of stores and stuff like that. And before I touched anything in my car and then like putting groceries away, washing my hands thoroughly. Like I stopped doing the whole wiping every single grocery bit down with like wipes after maybe the first month and a half or so, 2 months. Cause I just didn't have the time, but like, I'm sure that not going as many places and not seeing as many people was part of it, but I've kind of been doing a lot more and things have been a lot more lax since the beginning of this year. I mean, shit, I drove across the entire country in January and we were super careful, but like, and I if I was going to get sick, like even a cold or the flu or something, I feel like it would have happened. And I feel like it didn't because me, already a careful person who's nuts about washing my hands, maybe way too much, like added these extra steps, including the mask. And will I wear a mask like when I'm at the grocery store in the future? I don't know once that restriction is lifted, but certainly in really enclosed spaces like an airplane. Yeah. Like, I don't need to get sick, like on a plane going to a vacation or to a convention or something.
Yeah.
Hopefully stuff like that. I think a lot of people, maybe not most people, I'm not going to say most, but I think a lot of people are in that camp now where it's going to be more socially acceptable to see Americans with masks, especially in certain situations, like on an airplane, because it's nice to feel that extra layer of protection when you're around people. You guys know me. I am not, I need a bubble. I don't like to be around people. Please stay 6 feet away from me at all times. Like, I don't want you near me. And this has been so amazing for me, like when I've been around people, and now it's going back to people don't really, it's a Florida thing, I know, but like, I'm like, please, get back, get away from me. I don't want you near me. I don't want your germs. I don't want you close to me. And I know, but
it's terrible on the subway now because like, I'm starting to get to the point where like when I go into work, there aren't seats. So I was like, well, I mean, there are seats, but it's like, it's the seats that I wouldn't have sat in anyway, even like pre-pandemic, because I am fat and I'm not going to fit into them. So like if there's a specific seat available on the subway, like if it's one of the middle seats, I don't sit there because I'm not going to fit. So it's like I wouldn't be sitting there anyway. But even so, I'm like, definitely not with COVID. And it bothers me if there's a seat beside me and somebody sits in it. And I'm like, ooh, thanks.
Yeah,
like, I mean, I'm fully vaccinated and I'm wearing a mask, but no.
The people standing too close to me has always been, it's been a big pet peeve of mine. Like when people stand too close to me in grocery stores and in line anywhere really, like when they're like breathing on you and stuff. And I don't know, like I always wondered, like, is it something about me that people feel like it is like totally okay to like stand so close that they're brushing up against me? Because and it's not like dudes either. It's like everybody. Children are the worst with me. Like a child will come up and like touch me. I've had so many random children come up and be like, and I'm like, oh my God, no. And like, I loved that extra space, you know, that we had, that everybody was required to give. And it's like, it's gone away. Like there's still, here, California is not fully open and there's still supposed to be social distancing and everything. But like June 15th, I think, is the day that they named for us, you know, for things to kind of all be open back up. And it's like, I don't know. Like Aaron said, please still just, it doesn't have to be 6 feet, but like three would be good. I would like to be able to stretch out my arm in either direction and not touch a person on either side of me, front and back, you know, like just like that. That's it. That's all I'm asking.
That's a big ask.
I guess because like that's the thing. Like, you know, I know that in, you know, like in China and Asian countries where, especially in places where there's high population, like cities and stuff, like the idea of personal space is kind of just not really there. But like here in the United States, where there are literal vast swaths of country that have not like a gas station for hundreds of miles, like, why are we living like why are people so okay with just being like uber close to a stranger, like, and shaking hands? I don't ever want to have to shake a hand again.
No.
Oh, that was another New York Comic-Con thing.
Sweaty hand. Ugh.
That was another thing about New York Comic-Con that I forgot. They have a strict no contact policy. So like no shaking hands, no hugs, no nothing like that. They suggested bumping elbows, and I'm like, I think we should like bow, like they do. And
yes. Yeah, because touching elbows is still
not like
touching. Okay, so let's make that clear. It's still touching.
Yeah, I don't think Dragon Con, if it happens, I don't think they're going to be able to have a no contact rule. Like, and I've never had strange people touch, like strangers come up and touch me at Dragon Con, but like, it's like, it's already all over the forums and stuff that people are like, they're not gonna stop me from hugging my friends, and I'm like,
well, okay, just don't do it at the, like, do it in the hotel, like, lobby.
Well, I mean, yeah,
like, it's like Dragon Con is like, it's a different, like New York Comic Con is like pretty much confined to the convention center. Like, just don't do it in the convention center. Go literally anywhere else in New York, because New York will be open by then.
Well, I mean, and that's the other thing about the regulations, like, are like the convention can say you have to wear a mask. But then the hotel can say, well, the city of X says that people aren't required to wear masks anymore, so we're not making anybody wear masks. I think at Dragon Con, it's going to be more likely that the powers that be at Dragon Con are going to be scared to say everybody has to wear a mask, because there is a very large neckbeard contingent of attendees at that convention. And like, I've been kind of like not pleasantly, like slightly surprised, not super surprised, but slightly surprised. It was very not pleasant to see how many people are just like, I don't care, I'm coming, COVID, blah, blah, blah. Like they don't give a shit. And like, I don't think Dragon Con is going to have, hopefully they do, but I don't think they're going to have the strength to say attendees have to wear masks. But then the Hyatt is saying, yeah, you'll have to wear a mask if you're in our building and not in your room. So like, then if you're in the Hyatt and you're attending Dragon Con and you're down in the convention room area, are you gonna like, who's gonna be there to say you have to wear a mask if Dragon Con is saying you don't, or is not like making that a rule? I just really hope that everybody has their shit together in terms of like when they decide whatever the rules are gonna be. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, there is no shit to get together. That's the thing. Like, it's gonna be a free for all. So let's talk Disney now. We talk a lot about the parks. We all love the parks at the Geekiary. So I know Disney World here in Orlando is real weird. So to visit Disney, they took out the temperature test, so there's no longer that happening. You can wear. You don't have to wear a mask if you are outdoors. They say you still need one if you are like in a queue line for an attraction, or if you're indoors. But I don't know.
But judging by the people that were going before, I don't think
yeah. I also believe that they have, I haven't been to the parks in a few weeks, but I believe that they have also shortened the social distancing markers to 3 feet instead of 6 feet. So, yay.
Yeah, my work
at least
just
it's
changed
still
it.
3 feet.
Yeah, my work just changed it like during the week too, because I was in the office on Monday and then I was in the office on Wednesday. And on Monday you were only allowed to have 2 people in the elevator. And on Wednesday I went in and it's like you can have 4 people in the elevator now at my job. It's like, ooh.
I did hear that some of the attractions, they have begun taking down the plexiglass dividers that they had put up in the queue lines. And I do believe that, like, at least on the attractions, the rides and stuff, that they're no longer like separating parties like they had been. Like, you know, like on roller coasters, they would seat one party together and then leave the next like car or whatever empty. They're not doing that anymore. So good times, fun, wonderful. Yeah. Although I just went to the store last night, the grocery store here, and like none of the employees were wearing masks, and I was like, this is unsettling. And you know, a lot of the patrons were wearing masks, but a lot of them were not. And I was like, I'm never leaving my apartment again. Because I mostly get grocery delivery, but I was out last night. I went to Barnes & Noble, which was doing pretty good, relatively speaking. And so I stopped at the store on the way home, and I was like, never again.
Yes, I do love that you can get alcohol delivered in Florida. Like, I miss that so much.
Yeah, they're doing a big push now. Like, I think Governor DeSantis, hey, he like made it a rule now, or like a law that Florida can continue to deliver alcohol even though the pandemic is over.
Oh, they could do that. That's weird because like when I lived there, I mean back like I moved away in the summer of 2018, and Brian and I were getting food delivery. I can't remember for exactly how long, but it was absolutely for the last like 6 months or so that I lived there. And so back in 2018, they were like, we could order liquor and they would like, we had to order it. Obviously it's like an ABC store, but like, so we couldn't order it with our groceries, but yeah, we could.
Well, I think specifically it's like if you get like DoorDash or Grubhub, like a food delivery, and the restaurants can offer alcohol now with because yeah, I mean, you can get liquor delivered from like a liquor store or whatever, but now you can get it from the restaurant too. Yay! Fun stuff. What's going on in California, Disneyland?
Well, I mean, it's still right now. It's still residents only. The rumor being that like once California opens up on the 15th, then Disneyland will open back up. Like if not on that date, then soon after. It's at 30. It's still at 35% capacity. That might go up. I don't think it's going to go up to 100. I don't know what Disney World's is set at right now, or if they're just back to full capacity. Honestly, do you have any idea?
They are not back at full capacity. However, they have been increasing the capacity because you have to have a park reservation. Yeah. And I was supposed to go to Animal Kingdom tomorrow, but I didn't get anything done today, so I got to do my work tomorrow. So I canceled my reservation. And I was like, let me look at the dates when I can transfer this reservation. And there's like nothing available to go to Animal Kingdom. Like only Epcot is open for like the next 2 months. And I'm like, I love Epcot, but I've used all of my tickets so far as a Florida resident at Epcot. Can I go to like a different park, please? No, I can't. So yeah, so I don't know. Disney has never announced specifically what their capacity limits have been, but there has been more availability. But you still can't go to any park besides Epcot right now because they're all booked full.
Well, yeah, because Epcot's their max capacity is like 90,000 people, which I believe is almost twice. Like Magic Kingdom's is 40 something, maybe 40, and Animal Kingdom's is like 25 or 30, maybe. It might be more now because they opened up like Pandora and everything. But like when I was working there, I mean, yeah, Epcot's capacity was almost twice of any other park.
It's a huge damn so bigger.
But yeah, like Disneyland's is at 35% right now. Like I would hazard a guess that they'll open it, like if they open it to like the general public, not just California residents, on or soon after June 15th, that they're going to continue the reservation system as well. And I doubt like it will probably, I would say they'll wait a month or so before they open it to like 50% capacity or something. But I mean, I'm sure they'll do the same incremental thing that Disney World does. I mean, and the thing is like Disneyland's parks are also so much smaller and their walkways are smaller. And so, yeah, that's not only are their capacities smaller, but I feel like they might be, it being California, they'll probably be a little bit more, tentative with like how much they bump the number of people who can be in there up, you know, every couple months or whatever. But I guess we'll see. I know that one of the things that I just wanted to like, I keep seeing the past few days, and this is not like pandemic related at all, but like they opened this restaurant, or they're opening this restaurant that's like a Ant-Man and Wasp themed restaurant where they have like teeny tiny meals and gigantic meals and like.
Is that what that giant sandwich is from?
Because Pym particle means, yeah. So I keep seeing these awful clickbait articles about like, oh my God, $100 sandwich at Disneyland. What's in this sandwich? And like, I'm just really mad at these fucking news outlets because it's $100 because it feeds like 6 to 8 people. So like by this, like per serving, it's actually a little bit cheaper than most of the other sandwiches at that place. But
I was going to say, for Disney pricing standards, that actually doesn't sound too bad. If it's
yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, but they, you know, all these clickbait articles have this constant like, you know, $100 sandwich. Oh my God, Disney. And I'm like, ugh.
That is a really funny concept, though. But really small and really big. It's funny. Hey. All right. Hey, let's keep moving. Let's talk about recommendations because it's happening. I'm going to briefly say mine because you guys have more fun stuff, apparently. I got to give another shout to BTS. Their new song Butter just came out yesterday. It's all in English. It's super catchy. It's 80s synth pop. Everybody's going to love it. It's going to be the song of the summer, which is good because you got to dance, right? And so it's very, very danceable. And even if you're not a BTS fan, you will love this song. Like, it's super catchy and just really fun. And it does not have as nonsense of lyrics as Dynamite did. So that's good. Let's progress. And if you watch the video, they're looking pretty smoking also. So check that out. And I'm sure you'll be starting to hear it everywhere soon, just like you heard Dynamite everywhere, because this song is infinitely better. So Butter.
The funny thing is I kept assuming that was like an entirely new album because everybody was freaking out about it and like staying up for the release of it, but it's just a song.
Listen.
I'm like, wow, I thought it was an entire album and that's why everybody's so nuts about it. And I was like, and now I'm like, oh my God, it's just a song? Oh, okay.
It's a really fun song and they look hot as hell. I said they look smoking, but they're hot. Let's not lie. Yeah, K-pop is weird. They're like the way that they release stuff and comebacks and everything. It's a little odd, but yeah, like there's a reason that BTS is the most streamed, most viewed, whatever, of any artist in the world, and that's because of the fans. And it's very like when there's a release, even if it's just a song, like there are very specific goals that people set out to try to make, and so far we beat every single one of the previous record, which was also BTS, which was Dynamite. So yeah, it's been crazy, but it's been super fun, and everyone's been really cool. So check out the song though. You'll like it. It's fun. I'm serious. You'll really like it. And it's in English, so there's no excuse to not watch it. All right.
All right, I'm going to flip mine a bit. But so the first one I have is actually kind of funny because it's something that like would have been good to recommend like at the beginning of the pandemic. Because it is a game that you can play virtually. Like, so my sister and I mean, video game, but my sister and I actually played this today. So the game, it's like a pack of games, and it's called Jackbox 7, or she has Jackbox 7. It's just Jackbox. You get it on, it's an app on Steam, and the way that it works is that like one person is a host and like opens the app and like starts the game and everything, but then it gives you a code, and you go to the website Jackbox TV, and you put in the code, and then you can play on your phone, and like you can all play together. And the game that we played is called Blather Round, and it's basically like it gives you 3 like things, like a person, a place, or like an object or whatever, and you pick one, and then the other people have 2 minutes to guess what the object was, and like you keep giving them clues, but you can only give clues based on the words that they provide you. And so it's like you're sitting there like trying to figure out like the least nonsensical way to explain whatever your object is. So like I had like Inception, and like I'm trying to get my sister to guess Inception, and I was just like, this is a story about like not a hallucination because like it's a dream, and it was just like, it was insane. But it was a lot of fun, and I sort of wish we discovered it like a year ago because we could have been playing this the whole time, but we discovered it now. So there's that. And then my next 2 are anime, because of course they are. I'm working on my intention, because should the Tokyo Olympics actually happen this summer, which they're supposed to, I have this idea to do like a list of sports anime to get yourself in the mood for the Olympics. So I have a list, and I'm like, I've only seen like 7 of these. So I'm trying to watch the sports anime that I'm recommending, because probably should do that. And so the first one is Hanabado. It's a couple of years old. It's badminton. It is a badminton anime. It is amazing because it's girls. It is rare to find a sports anime where the characters are girls. And it's like, it's a rivalry thing and blah, blah, blah. I really enjoyed it. It's on Crunchyroll. And then my second one is, and that's all complete. It's 13 episodes, so you can go binge it whenever. And the other one is currently airing. It comes out on Fridays on Crunchyroll. It's called Bakuten, which means backflip. And it is a men's rhythmic gymnastics anime.
Yes.
And so I didn't even know men's rhythmic gymnastics was a thing, but apparently it is. And it's like, you know, they're high school students or whatever, and they have this team, and you need 6 people to compete, and the team only had 4, and so the first episode is like 2 more joining, so it's like they can actually like compete now, because, so it's great. Those are mine.
Yeah, I don't really have like big exciting recommendations. I did watch that Army of the Dead Zack Snyder movie on Netflix yesterday and was pleasantly surprised. Like, it was surprisingly good. It wasn't amazing. There was like, the ending was kind of and like there were 2 really long like heartfelt scenes that just didn't need to be there at all. But like the zombie stuff was different and good, and like even though it was filmed mostly in Atlantic City, not in actual Vegas, because like they used like old closed down casinos in Atlantic City. It was still cool. Like, it still had that like, oh, this is kind of like, it had that this is in Vegas feel, even if all the Vegas stuff was, you know, fake. And I just finished watching all of Downton Abbey was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I watched the movie yesterday. So I started it on like April 22nd. I'd never watched it before. And like, I don't know why, because I had a lot of friends that liked it and I love historic stuff and historical dramas and everything. And yeah, so I would have, if I only watched it like when Dean wasn't around because it's just not his type of thing. And but yeah, so like even only watching it when he wasn't around, it took me like less than a month to finish 6 seasons. And I'm pretty sure every season has 10 episodes and they're all like almost an hour long or right at an hour long. So I feel pretty good about that I watched that many hours of a show plus a movie in like a month.
How did you love it?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. Like I'm like, I just got so many like feelings about it. Like I don't even know where to start, honestly, because I know everybody else finished watching this show like years ago. So I'm kind of, I feel very behind on the times. And I have a lot of friends who stopped watching it like after the first few seasons because they said it got too soap opera-y and stuff. And I'm just like, psh.
What's the point?
Like that's, but it's like, it's soap opera-y, but it's not over the top. You know what I mean? Like it's not like daytime soap opera.
Yeah.
Like,
as somebody that watched daytime soaps.
Okay.
No, there was no demonic possession, like somebody coming back from the dead, like, the doll that comes alive. Thank you, Passions. That was a great.
Oh my God, my sisters and I used to watch Passions just to make fun of it.
Yeah.
There was no other reason to watch it.
The only like soap I've watched as an adult, like soap, and I'm putting this in quotes, soap is was Jane the Virgin, because it's literally like oh my God, what do you call it?
Telenovela.
Spanish? Yeah, telenovela. It's a telenovela. And it definitely has its like soap opera tendencies, but it's just done like so stinking well. So it was not even, like that type of craziness or whatever. I the end of season 3 or end of season 4, so you guys have both watched it.
I never finished it. I stopped watching after Matthew died. Spoilers.
Okay. Yeah, that was I was gonna say, spoiler alert if you haven't watched past like season, let's say 4. But like when Matthew died, I was like, that was the only time I was like, okay, this is too much. Like that was like, there were other times where it's like, okay, this is a bit silly, but that was the one time where I was like, oh, come on.
Well, it's because he wanted off the show.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but at
the
same
two
time,
big deaths of Matthew and Sybil were both because the actors wanted off the show.
No,
yeah, Sybil was hard too, but like after Matthew, I was like, no. And it's not even so much like, it's just I tend to watch shows for like characters and like, and even if they want off the show, like they get killed, and I'm just like, I don't think I want to watch this anymore. So I'm just not gonna.
Well,
yeah,
Tara, I know that there are 2 people on staff here that would love to talk to you about Downton Abbey, me being one of them, because I love it. I watched it in real time as it was all going on, and I own all of them on Blu-ray for some reason. And there is another movie coming. So
yeah, I know.
Watch for that.
Honestly, it was when they announced that movie and it started popping up, like it was constantly like trending on Twitter, popping up. I was like, okay, another movie. Now I have to see what this is about, and like I love that like time period. I love the fashion. I think that World War I, as a history major, I've always felt that World War I got like way less coverage in media, or has gotten way less coverage in media than it should have. So I was like, I kind of want to see how it handles that. So yeah, I figured I would probably enjoy it. And when the reason I didn't watch it before, it was really probably just I'd never had I'm not going to like this. It was more just like a question of time. Yeah. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't watch it in real time, because like I would have been going crazy. Like there were days where Dean would come home from work and I'd be like halfway through an episode and I'd be like, I got to finish this episode. Like you go shower, do what you're going to do. Like I'm just going to finish this episode. And then he'd go do his own thing and the episode would finish and I'd be like, I don't see Dean play.
Just one more.
That's how it is. It is like that. And But I do feel bad though. The one thing that I feel bad for you about is that you didn't get that long period between the end of the series and the film, because like that film from like a nostalgia sort of standpoint of like sitting in the movie theater with my mom. I took my mom with me and we were just sitting there and we were both like, the piano, like the piano music started and I was like, I missed this so much.
I honestly, just for the music, I almost never skipped the intro either. I was watching it at Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
So like I almost never skipped the intro just because I liked the music.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful music, gorgeous.
Also,
and
though,
so
they use the same music when bad thing, like not the intro music, but they use the same music every single time something bad was about to happen. There was like maybe 3 different scores that they used for like bad things are coming. So like when Matthew was about to die, I was like, he's dying. He's in the car. He's happy. She had a son. They just had this wonderful moment. He's totally dead. I'm glad I didn't know that he died. Like I wasn't spoiled for anything somehow. Like, I guess I have a lot of friends who watch the show, but not like nobody really talked about it, I guess.
Well, I think a lot of it was because it was on PBS. And so like, you know, like when I saw the film with my mom, I was probably the youngest person in the movie theater, you know, and, you know, a lot of the target demographic, I would say, were not on social media. And even those of us who were, like, we only had a couple of other people that were watching it too. So we weren't doing like social media posts. We were like talking about it behind the scenes, like, oh my God, did you see what happened? Here we go. Yes. Fareed has joined the chat.
Talking about Downton Abbey, I have been summoned.
Yes.
Okay, so it was Fareed that is the other person that has watched it.
Yep. So I think we're probably going to have a lot to talk about offline. So.
Especially since there's another movie coming. I was like, like I'm done with the series. Like, what do I do with my life? And some stranger responded on Twitter and was like, just watch it all over again. That's what I did. I don't know how many times I've watched the series through. And it's like, my thing is like, I had it on in the background a lot of the time when I was working, with the exception of the day after I got my second COVID shot, when I felt like I was going to die. And Dean was at work all day, and like so I was home. His oldest son was upstairs, but he's like, you know, in his room like playing video games or God knows what. But like I just laid on the couch all day, and I think I got through like a season and a half because I couldn't do anything. And I think that's the only reason I didn't sleep all day too, is because I was like, well, I gotta watch more Downton Abbey.
I think a lot of the appeal to Downton Abbey, not only from the historical standpoint, like you mentioned, and also like the soapy stuff, is it's very simple. Like, it's a very simple show. You just said that they have like the same 3 scores. But all the characters are like really great. They're all flawed. We talk a lot about that here at the Geekiary about, you know, there's no perfect character in that show.
Yeah. But there's also a lot of really good, like, believable character growth, which I like.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. Like, everybody kind of has, or they go through a very natural redemption if they are doing, you know, that kind of thing. Or just growth in general, I think is so great.
So I guess like another spoiler alert, in case anybody is watching this now or watches it later. For oh my gosh, what was her name? I can't even remember her name now. Oh my gosh, Lady Crawley's original maid, Mrs. O'Brien. Mrs. O'Brien.
Oh, O'Brien, yeah.
No. Yeah, O'Brien. Yeah. What happened to her? Like, was there some drama about her leaving the show? Because like she literally was just gone.
The actor wanted off the show.
They what? That was it. That was just it. She just wanted to be done. Okay,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But like at least as Sybil and Matthew, like they had like, okay, this fits into the, you know, storyline. Like not necessarily the storyline, but it's like this fits into the drama of the show that they just died stupidly and randomly and whatever. Sybil's death being, I kind of figured she had my guess actually about her was that she wanted off the show because she was gone to Ireland for a while. And then she came back for like 1 or 2 episodes. And then I was like, I was not surprised by that and figured it was something like that because she'd already been like gone off the show for a bit. But like Matthew was a surprise only in that like literally as when they were sitting there being happy about the baby, I was like, this ain't gonna last. I didn't expect it to happen that episode, but I knew it wasn't gonna last. And then when he's like driving in his car smiling like a dingbat, I was like, he's dying now. But like, yeah, I with O'Brien, it was like she literally just wasn't there one day, and the excuse was she went to be lady's maid to Susan, Rosa's mom, and I was like, this makes zero sense. This makes zero sense.
Yeah, I don't know. That is one piece of the writing that was a little weird, and I have no explanation for you. So.
Yeah.
Maybe they had to figure it out abruptly, and they're just like, insert this little piece of dialogue. Because like with The Expanse, because they had filmed and like season 5 was done, and then they're like, oh, Cass Anbar is not coming back, so they had to get rid of Alex, and so they just sort of like freeze frame on him in the chair and like digitally inserted some like blood drops, and we're like, he had a stroke. It's like Poochie died on his way to his home planet.
Yeah. Well, he had Fred Johnson's death from the books. That's like having the heart attack or whatever from too much stims when they were, I can't remember the exact terms they use, but like that's how Fred Johnson dies in the books. So I was like, okay. I mean, at least they used a book death. We all knew he was going.
I'm sorry. I need to go back and include another recommendation that I forgot about. I don't know how I could have forgotten about this, but I just did. I'm going to add to my recommendation list a K-drama called Vincenzo.
I've seen gifs of that.
Yes. Okay. It is on Netflix. It's a relatively new series. I think they were releasing it weekly, I believe starting at the end of March. And oh my gosh, you guys, this is like the best show. It's a dramedy. Well, it's not really a dramedy even. It's very dark. It's about a mafia guy. Like he gets like this Korean guy gets adopted into Italian mafia family. And then like he's an adult, and then like his adopted father dies, so he goes back to Korea. I don't want to give too much away about why he goes back or what's going on there, but he basically has to okay, I'll just tell you because it's not really a spoiler. It happens in the first episode. He helps this like Chinese tycoon or whatever bury his gold on top or underneath an apartment building, and there's this company that wants to go and buy the property because they're buying up all the properties around this apartment building. And Vincenzo, who's the main character, he goes back and tries to like get the gold out before they demolish the building. But he like falls in love with the tenants who live in the apartment complex, who are just like insane people. Like they are hilarious, and they all live and work in this building. So like there's like a woman who is a piano teacher, but she's also a hacker, and she like always is like looking at Vincenzo like and like it's just really funny, and it's a lot of drama. But oh my god, it is so good. It is so funny. It's like the #1 show in Korea right now. It's very good. You should watch it. Thank you. Sorry. I had to add that. Okay, let's just do very quickly some quarantine shout outs because we've talked a lot about the pandemic tonight, but I do again want to thank everyone who's gotten their vaccines so far. All 3 of us are fully vaccinated here, and so I think most everyone on staff at this point is fully vaccinated or getting there. We think it's important. All of us, I know we say we don't represent the Geekiary as a whole or whatever. But
in
all
this
of
case,
us,
we do.
yeah, in this case.
Well, in this case, we for sure represent us as a whole. And I honestly don't think there's anybody on staff. Like, if there's anybody who is not vaccinated yet, it's most likely because they haven't had the ability to get one. Because I know it's been hard in Canada for example. I don't know about elsewhere in the world, but like in Canada, like I have friends that live there that are still just like hoping they can get it like in a month. So
yeah, well, we all support like getting vaccinated, and because we want to get back into conventions, we want to get back and do these face-to-face interviews and roundtables and press rooms and stuff, because not only for you all at home, but like we like it too. So yeah, it's a lot of for a lot of us, it's kind of what we live for outside of our jobs, and so thank you for doing your part to help us get back what we want to do. But it benefits everyone, obviously. And then somebody also wrote here, I'm not sure who it was, but I also agree with this. Thanks to everyone continuing to wear their masks, even if there's not a mandate in place. Obviously, we talked about that earlier. Very important. I'm wearing a mask forever. Thank you.
I want to do one quick thing before we wrap up on the subject of vaccines. So if you follow us on Twitter, you notice we've been having a giveaway, hoping for people, like encouraging people to get the vaccines. There's like 2 hours left on that giveaway. So if you are vaccinated or you have a vaccination appointment scheduled, you can enter to win this giveaway. It's a $50 gift card to Boxed Lunch, which puts out a lot of geeky merchandise. So it's like, hey, if you've like gotten the vaccine, why not? You get the chance to get stuff. So
have we tweeted about that recently?
I'm terrible about Twitter. I think somebody tweeted it yesterday. I can retweet the tweet right now just to make sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm terrible about Twitter, so like.
Yeah,
it could have been tweeted an hour ago, and maybe I did.
Yeah, it was yesterday. So
I'm always on my GPS Dan account now, so
I'm just gonna tweet it.
That's a really good prize, though.
What, Aaron?
That's a really good prize. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of cool like little giveaways and stuff, but just a $50 Box Lunch gift card, like just. Like you can get anything you want, like.
Your choice, not our choice for a change.
And what does it end at? Like 11:59 East Coast time tonight?
Yeah. So.
All right. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah. So I just tweeted the link. If you follow it, like go to our Twitter and that's the link for
it. Excellent. So I do have a question, not a question that we will discuss, but a question to the viewers, which is, it's been a long time since we've watched something together, and I thought that might be something kind of fun we can do coming up since it's summertime and whatever. So if you have any suggestions or fun ideas for things we could watch, that might be fun.
June is Pride Month. We could pick something really gay.
That's true. All right, just putting a little bug out in the universe there. Okay. I think we're pretty much done. Are we done?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. This was fun. I'm so glad about Downton Abbey. I'm just all buzzing now. Sorry.
I've been buzzing about it. It's like, I don't know who to talk to about this, because to be honest, like most of the people that I knew that watched it, like I either very rarely talk to them or don't talk to them really, or don't talk to them at all anymore. So I'm just like,
you can talk to me. I love it. Okay. I seriously am like vibrating because I'm so excited for you, because you love Downton Abbey. I'm Erin, along with Tara and Jamie. Thank you again for joining us for Feelings with the Geekiary. Remember, we are a free webcast run off of donations from viewers like you. Thanks for contributing and helping our host site, the Geekiary. We will see you next time, probably next month. Bye.